Still just breaking up the videos. Oops, excuse me. So, as I was saying, it's not a matter of religion or no religion, because, as Heidegger said, no man is without a religion. And by that, what he meant is that religion is whatever you quote-unquote worship. It's what you're spending your money on. It's what you spend your time on. It's your core beliefs that inform the way that you act in the world. So your religion is whatever that is. Said differently, I do not believe that religion, and I think Jung might be down with this. I know Jordan Peterson was down with it. Hillman, he's a little different. But it doesn't involve necessarily a supernatural entity. Like, you don't need a supernatural entity to have a religion. Your religion is how you live. It's your comportment. It's your network of relationships. That's what your religion is. So, it's not a matter of religion or no religion, or if religion is good, religion is bad, whatever. And I think that healthy, vibrant cultures have at least a cursory understanding of this importance, or at least an intuitive understanding of things like, oh wow, the archetypal image of family. Somehow family really imprints on religious cultures, because we think family good, people good. Unlike the postmodern belief that sees people as a plague or a disease to planet Earth, we feel like, no, people for the most part are good, are trying to do good things. I don't see my daughter, for example, as a part of some plague on the planet. That would seem very odd to me. You know, we're just not. I'm not a part of a, you know, it's just ridiculous. So I think that the image of the family is sort of at the heart of a lot of religion, and that's kind of the bedrock of culture. No family, no culture. And we can see in Ireland right now, we can see in America right now, we can see in Europe right now, in many places, Sweden, for example, and the Netherlands, that everyone, all the liberals, oh my God, they're great. Well, dig into the data a bit, and no, it's not. See this in Venezuela, see this. I could keep going. I really could keep going. When you erode religion, you erode family, you erode society, and it's really, 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 as someone who wrote a book on self-destructiveness, it's very, very self-destructive to erode your own fundamental structures societally. So, I mean, and the question really is, like, especially for Ireland today, and America for that matter, how backwards do you want to go? How far backwards do you want to go, and where does it stop? Like, you keep eroding, eroding, eroding. I mean, I don't know. I had a friend who always said, the hole stops getting deeper when you put the shovel down, right? It's kind of like, how deep do you want to go and how much you want to erode? Or look to cultures like this one, the Filipino culture, that holds family essential, has a healthy respect for religion, and a healthy respect for history, and a healthy respect for the future. They seem to always want to take responsibility for moving into the future. They seem very teleological to me, and they don't take all of it too seriously. So it's not like they're just serious all the time. They also have plenty of time where they are relaxed, where they laugh a lot, they party a lot. There was a party here just earlier. They had a dance competition for kids earlier here, which was just hilarious to see. Anyway, you know, we really could stand to look to other cultures to see where we can learn a little bit, and not just assume that we know everything. And there's a lot to learn here. And, you know, even if no one else is picking up kind of the bits and pieces of other cultures and things that are helpful, I notice it. And that's one of the things I've been so blessed with, whether it's Native American culture, Black culture, Southeast Asian culture. Oh my God, I've been around so many, lived in them. I go and I live with, you know, that you really notice some similarities and differences over time of what is really helping something thrive. Or in some cultures, you'll notice, like Ireland, a history of trauma followed by, a continued self-destructive or maybe I don't know, it's just like at every turn, cultures coming out of trauma, sometimes, not always, will just at every turn sort of be taking away their own ability to do well unconsciously. Self-defeating is probably better than self-destructive. Like self-defeating, thinking that they're making progress, but really just keep... it's like postmodernism. It's like, where does the deconstruction stop? And now you've got feminists angry at Muslims, and some liberals support Muslims because you're supposed to... I mean, there's this bizarre, like, thing, all these friction and fractures that happen in their logic because they just deconstruct themselves into oblivion. If we make abortions illegal, then they're just going to happen in back alleys and it's going to be awful. But if we take everyone's guns away, that's totally cool and everything will be fine. It's just, they're going to deconstruct themselves into oblivion. And that's what happens with self-defeating behavior, is they actually think that they're doing right. Like Ireland thinks they're doing right now. So does America, To paraphrase St. Augustine, no one intentionally does evil, but only an apparent good. I mean, think about that for a minute. They think that they're progressing. This is progress. That now we have infanticide in Ireland. How does that make sense? Or a lot of the laws that they pass in California or Canada trying to control people's language about what about pronouns and what you can and can't, like forced language, what you can and cannot say, like 1984, forced language, and think they're making progress. But that's progress. It's an apparent good. But anyway, not here. Not here. These people, I don't see any of that self-defeating behavior. These people are focused, highly educated, the world's largest exporter of medical staff. They are practical. They are into STEM, but in a good way. There really isn't much psychoanalysis or psychology here because these people are really living the archetypes and don't need an analysis of them. They're kind of living their myths in such a fashion that they don't need to call them myths, if that makes any sense, and are still very tied into, most of them, or a lot of them, I should say, their indigenous roots in the provinces or jungle areas where their spiritual traditions lie in the forest, in nature, in the jungle, really tied to the earth, tied to their wells where they get water, tied to the land, tied to their housing that they have there, which is very humble and practical, and are just really dialed into the earth when they're out there. And when they're here in the city, they're really kind of working a lot and also having a good time. So much to be learned from. A good contrast. Filipino, one hand, Europe, take for example Ireland, America on the other. I mean, who's really got it together in terms of family and a future?